Everybody, welcome back to the channel, and this is a continuation of scout knots that we're going to use, that you should actually learn yourself. It comes in very much handy, especially throughout your day. If you're in the woods working around, you need to lash something, you need to tie something, these knots come in handy. And this is one of the earlier knots that you learned, especially when I was in the Army in a certain school. You have to be able to tie a bowline. Now what a bowline does is it puts basically a loop on the end of a cord that's secured, that you can use to tie into something if you're if you need a loop to tie in. Now there are other ways of tying loops around knots. Actually, this is one right here. You see right here, this is sort of a figure 8 loop right here, and you have a loop there. But when this gets really tight, it's hard to take apart. Okay, so the idea is be able to make a loop that you can that will not slip. Okay, and so a bowline forms a loop that will not slip. That's just what you want for trying a rope around your waist or around someone else is requiring rescue. A bowline also works well for securing guy lines through the grommets or a tent or dining fly. Learn to tie the bowline around yourself, around a post, or in the free end of a rope. With practice, you can even tie it with one hand. Now, I remember when I was I had a summer camp one time. I was a part of a cadre of a summer camp for ROTC. I think it was the ROTC summer camp. And we had this young lieutenant that was with us, or a captain, and she was leading the rope course. And we had a rope corral, which basically you're tying a rope around some trees to form a corral, and everybody would stand around that. And then they would use the rope in front of them to tie their lashings, tie their knots to. And she could tie a bowline so fast. It was just, if you weren't paying attention, well, you wouldn't see it. So, but I picked up on how to tie a bowline very quickly. And if I could remember straight, first thing, we would want to tie a bowline with a loop that was bigger than your fist, but it couldn't pass over your head. That was already the first rule. Okay, so it's working and practicing that, so you had that right amount of cord in your hand, okay, that you would need to be able to do that with. Okay, and so what I would suggest is about 4 fist widths of cord for your running in right here. Now, you're not going to start the cord off with your running in. You're going to start off with your standing in, and you're going to form a loop. Okay, you form this loop, and then as you pass through the loop, you're going to pull the rest of the standing in from behind that through. Okay, once you've done that, you're going to run your running in through it, and you're going to pass it through to where you have a little bit more than a fist size in there, and then you're going to pull it back, tighten up on itself, and then it's going to form this bite right here, and you can tighten that down. Now, the reason why I have so much here is because what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to fix this bowline onto itself, and you don't have to have this much rope. But what I've done is I've actually secured the bowline knot with a half hitch. Okay, and so this way I can put my hand through it, but can't put my head through it. All right, and this will be on the end of your cord. Okay, so now what you can do also is a bowline, and it's the same technique with 2 hands or with 1 hand, and you can basically go around your body with it. Now, I'm not going to sit here and go around my body tying this knot. Something that you can work on. The basics of this knot is basically learning how to tie it for yourself. What you would do is you'd pass this around your body. Okay, the right size around your body, the running in. Okay, once you've had this, and you'd hold this, this would be the back of your back. This piece right here the other end would be in your hand right here, and you'd have the running in right here, and basically you would hold this rope. It's a bit twisted right now. You'd have this rope in your hand like so, and this would go around your body. This would be in your hand like this right here. This would be basically right out in front of you, and you would sit there and you take it, and you would form this loop, go back on itself, pull it through, pass this all the way through it, hold this right here in position, and then you would tighten it. Okay, and then this right here would be actually around your body right now. And then what you would do is that you'd want to have another bowline on this end right here, which you would basically do the same thing with. cord through, okay? And then you'd have another bowline, and then you tie your half hitch right here. So you could put a carabiner here, and you can lock yourself into position, and you'd also be locked in position. This is if you had just like your commando cord or your commando, your several feet of commando rope that you carried with you, and you can make it a rappel harness, this kind of stuff out of it. But anyway, this is the bowline, all right? And this is probably a bit more than you probably want to learn or for me to explain to you, but it's pretty simple. So you basically, I'm going to show you one more time because a lot of people get confused when they do the bowlines, okay? And it's not a difficult knot, and it's a very good practical knot to learn. And it's one that comes in handy quite often for securing yourself or securing in the rope, like it says. So basically, I like to get plenty of rope out here in front of me, hold the rope in my hand here. I form a knot. I go back. If you see right here, I go back on itself, and I pull this piece through, forming a loop right here. Then I run this through back in on itself. I hold this in position, then I tighten it. And there you go. Okay, that's your basic bowline right there. Everything outside of it's cream. Okay. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that or understood it. There are lots of stuff out there talks about the bowline knot. Like I said, it's one of the most important commando knots that we used in the Army and in scouting. Like I said, this is primarily one of the important knots that boys have to learn to get their merit badges and to advance. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it made sense, and I'd appreciate you subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and give me your stories about the bowline, because it seems like people have more stories about it than you can imagine. And share this with your friends and enemies. And I'll see you with the next knot coming right up.